Hello everyone and welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to the first walk around of 2019. This time I am joined by the latest Honda CR-V. So as always, I'm going to take you around the car, give you my kind of initial thoughts and tell you a little bit about its features. So let's get cracking. So here we are, the latest CR-V, looking quite nice in its, I need to remember the colour, it's got quite a long name. Premium Crystal Red Metallic, there we are, Premium Crystal Red Metallic. I kept forgetting the name. So the model you are looking at is the top of the range model, the EX, and as such I get 19-inch alloys, I get chrome detailing, and I get plenty of other features which I will talk you through in due course. Now, as you may have spotted by the badge, this model does have all-wheel drive, but it's not really a proper off-roader. So if you're looking for a rugged car that will pretty much go anywhere, this won't really be the car for you. But it will be handy in winter when the driving conditions are a little bit more treacherous. Now, I'm still not completely sure on the looks. I really like the colour. The colour is really nice, but the overall look, I'm not too sure. Obviously, looks will always be subjective, but what do you think, guys? Do you think it's a looker or a bit of a minger, or kind of in between? Do you feel a little bit indifferent about the car? Anyway, let me take you inside the car. Now, this car is available as a 7-seater, but if I show you the back, I've got a 5-seater, so there's no extra seats behind in the boot area. I will show you the boot in due course, but let me talk you through the cabin. Actually, just a quick one on the rear doors. They are super practical because they open virtually 90 degrees. Look at that, a nice wide opening. So when you get inside, it's really nice and easy. Now, obviously, you wouldn't be able to open these doors fully in a car park if you have a car parked next to you, but it's still practical all the same. Let me just prop my camera slide up like so. So yes, let me show you the inside. If I climb in like so, oh, you've got these lovely leather seats which are extremely comfortable. Let me give you a look. They are very nice and they are standard, and as you can see here, they are also heated, which is very nice indeed. You also get heated seats in the rear, which is a nice feature. Right, close the door like so. So this car is just over £37,000, which I must admit for a Honda does seem to be a little bit expensive. However, there are lots of features that this car can offer. Now, the CR-V is available in 4 trim levels. You've got S, SE, SR and EX. The base model, the S, starts from just below £26,000. So let me turn on the ignition. So you get to have a look at the infotainment system. So you've got a 7-inch Honda Connect infotainment system as standard, which, to be honest, is pretty shoddy. As you can see, the graphics are pretty dated. There we are. And in all honesty, I don't think this would look out of place 10 years ago. Because, yeah, it is a little bit clunky, dated, and the graphics are, pardon me, the graphics aren't very good at all. Now, you can bypass all of this nonsense by using smartphone connectivity. So you can use Android Auto, or you can use Apple CarPlay, which is a godsend, to be frank, because, yeah, this standard system, yeah, it's not fantastic at all. Now, you do get navigation. Where is it? Map, there we are, which is supplied by Garmin, but yeah, as you can see, the graphics look quite rudimentary, and yeah, I know I keep saying it, guys, but it looks dated, so I'm not a massive fan. You also get front and rear parking sensors and a reversing camera, which I need to turn the car on to show you. So pop it into reverse. I've got a CVT automatic gearbox, and that is the reversing camera, which I know you can't really tell too much looking through a camera lens, but the resolution isn't particularly good, if I'm going to be brutally honest. So yeah, not fantastic. You can change the views though, so you've got bits down here where you can, there we are, but leave it on that one. So pop it back into park, and I may as well turn the engine off for the time being. Just a quick one, when you pop it into reverse, the wing mirror on the passenger side dips down, which is very handy indeed. I do rather like that feature. For some reason it doesn't do it on the driver's side. It stays where it is, which I do find a little bit odd, but still, that is handy for when you want to obviously park against a curb and you don't want to scuff the big 19-inch alloys. So turn the engine off like so. Oh, actually, let me put the ignition back on because, come on, because you get a head-up display. That is also standard, and you can change the views by using this little button here. So you can change the views. You can change the view. So that is speed limit. Obviously, I know you can't really see it too well on the on my camera lens because there we are. It's a bit better. That tells you about your safety systems. That gives you nothing apart from the speed. Or you can have your rev meter. Now on camera, it probably looks really small, but it is pretty easy to see as a driver. So yeah, the camera lens doesn't quite do it justice. But yeah, you've got plenty of safety kits. So I've got lane departure warning, I've got lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, also got a heated steering wheel. I know heated steering wheel isn't exactly a safety feature, but I thought I'd point it out whilst I'm here. That has been very handy because it is winter in the UK right now. So yes, that has been a little bit of a godsend. I've also got an electronically adjustable driver's seat with memory functions. In fact, it's set to number 2, which isn't for me. Maybe I set it to number 1. That's a bit better. There we go. I like to sit a little bit closer and a little bit lower. What else do you get? So you get an electric parking brake hold, which is quite handy. So when you're driving in traffic, when you brake and come to a stop, that will hold you, so you don't have to keep your foot on the brake, or you don't have to engage the parking brake. So that is pretty handy. I've got dual zone climate control, and yeah, there is a lot of features in here. So it is a little bit pricey, but I think Honda has done a relatively decent job of justifying this car's cost. Now let's talk about the interior. The interior is okay. It's not especially fantastic, especially if you compare it to a Peugeot 3008, which has got a really nice interior. You've got these mock wood panels, which I'm not a massive fan of. They look pretty convincing. However, I suspect these are actually plastic as opposed to wood. That's actually quite an unattractive noise. Yeah, I think Honda's put it in here to give it a premium effect, to make it feel more like a German car. But for me, in my opinion, they seem a little bit out of place. You get a soft touch dashboard, or a relatively soft touch dashboard, nice gloss black detailing, and it isn't an awful place to be, but yeah, it isn't quite as attractive as other cars in its class, particularly the Peugeot 3008. Now there are some harder plastics in here, so down here and also on the bottom of the door cards, but to be honest, it feels durable and well made, so I haven't really got any major complaints. As standard, you also get a leather steering wheel, which feels nice. The leather feels good quality, doesn't feel too hard or too coarse, so yes, that's very nice indeed. Right, let me talk about practicality, because this car is very practical indeed. So I've got 2 bottle holders in the door bin. So I've got a bottle holder there. I've got a 500ml bottle of water there, but I can also pop it into that bottle holder there. And again, it fits pretty nicely. Got a little slot here where I've got a snack bar. Pop that back like so. 2 cup holders in the middle. I've got my flask of tea and a mocha. Glove boxes of a decent size. Let me just open it up for you. There we go. Not too bad. Got a cubby hole here where You can pop the key, or I like to put my smartphone in there. And you've got a compartment here which you've got this little tray which is removable, and it also slides across, so you can have it there like so and have that for whatever you may want to put in there, or you can slide it back and use that area there. You've also got two USB ports, a HDMI port and a 12-volt socket. You've also got a 12-volt socket there, so yeah, a pretty practical interior, I'm sure you'll agree. Right, let me jump into the back. Now, as I mentioned, I need to turn the ignition off. There we go. Just a quick one. This car has got keyless entry, which is handy. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the rear doors open very nice and wide, leaving me acres of room in which to get in. So, let me step in like so. Now, I'm 6'2", but even so, if I were to be sat behind a driver of my height, as you can see, I have got plenty of leg room. Look at that. That is very impressive. I can get my feet underneath the seat as well. And yeah, I've got acres of space back here. Really, really impressive. But what about headroom? Well, as standard, this car does come with a panoramic roof, and quite often they can eat into headroom. But even so, I've got a decent amount of headroom as well. So the back is really spacious. And what I like is the middle seat is still quite usable. Yes, it is quite slim. However, the transmission tunnel is quite shallow, so you haven't got a massive lump here which would eat into legroom. So if I sit in the middle, now granted, for a taller person like me, it isn't ideal. My legroom is okay. I could kind of sit like that, I suppose. But the middle seat is set a little bit higher, therefore my headroom isn't quite as good, although I've still got enough. So could you fit 3 adults back here? You can. It is a bit of a squeeze. In fact, I did it yesterday. It is doable. And yeah, to sum up, the back of the CRV is very spacious. You've also got the climate control which comes into the back, and you've got even more USB ports. Look at that. You've got 2 more USB ports, so super practical. So if you're on a family road trip and you've got the kids in the back, or whoever complaining they can't charge their tablets or their smartphones, no need to worry, because you've got 2 USB ports. There we are. Very handy indeed. Right, let me jump out and show you the boot. Very easy to climb out. There we are. So as standard, you get an electric tailgate. So push the button like so, and it rises up. There we are. Now, interestingly, the boot is actually smaller than its predecessor. So the old CRV had 589 litres worth of space, whereas the new one has 561. So it is 28 litres smaller, but as you can see, well, hopefully you can see because I've got all my filming crap in there, but as you can see, it still offers a decent amount of space. Now, obviously, I know you can't get a proper look because it has got my stuff in it, but I've got a fair amount of filming equipment, and I've got loads of space left over. You've got this cover as well to help. Oh, there we are. It's a bit stiff that time. There we are, to give your luggage a bit of privacy, which is handy, good for security, and it's easy to operate. You also get a rubber boot liner, which is really handy and practical. So if you've got dogs, or if you're going to be putting muddy walking boots in here, you won't have to worry about getting the actual boot liner filthy. So yes, again, Honda has put some thought into it. You also get, which I'm going to struggle to show you, you also get a spare wheel, which you can just about see there. There we go. Oh. So yes, in regards to practicality, the CRV ticks plenty of boxes. Now, if this isn't enough space for you, or you need to fold down the rear seats, you can do so. You can fold down the 60/40 rear seats to give you 1,638 litres. Now, you do get a little bit more if you go for a lower spec model, which doesn't have the panoramic roof. If you go for a model without the pano roof, when you fold down the 60/40 rear seats, you actually get 1,756 litres. And the seats fold nice and flat. So again, very practical indeed. And I believe this can actually be taken out. Yes, it can. So don't worry if you think, hang on a minute, if I fold down the rear seats, I still can't use it because I've got this cover in the way. No, fear not, that can be removed. And to pop the boot down, press that button, and it lowers itself relatively quickly. Not too bad at all. Right, so at this present time, there's only one engine available for the CR-V. It is a 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine, which when it's mated to a CVT automatic like I have in this car, produces 193 horsepower with 243 newton meters of torque. If you go for the 6-speed manual, it is a little bit slower, so it is 173 horsepower with 220 newton meters of torque. Now this engine will get you to 62 miles per hour in 10 seconds flat, and will get you to a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Now, interestingly, if you go for the manual version, although it's got less power, it is actually a little bit faster. The 0 to 62 time is a little bit quicker, and the top speed is also a little bit higher. Now, this engine isn't particularly frugal. On a combined run, using the NEDC method of testing, you can expect 39.8 mpg on a combined journey. Using the WLTP method, which is the real world testing, which has recently come into place, you're looking at 31.7 mpg. So if you're looking for a frugal SUV, this isn't the car for you. Now, it is worth noting that there is a 2-litre hybrid on the horizon, which will be coming soon, but that will be a, oh wow, no, look at that old Porsche. That's a 356 Speedster. Sorry, I just heard an old car coming and I had to turn around. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there is a 2-litre hybrid coming, which will be a petrol hybrid, meaning the CR-V is not available with a diesel. So if you want a diesel SUV, you will have to look elsewhere. Yeah, and yeah, that is pretty much everything I've got to show you for the time being. Let me pop that down like so. Now, in regard, I've got to mention the CO2 emissions from memory, because I am doing this from the top of my head. I believe the CO2 emissions are 162 grams per kilometre. So yes, this isn't a particularly green car, but it is a red car, as you can see by the lovely paintwork. Now that's pretty much me done. There will of course be a full review coming, so be sure to look out for it. If you aren't subscribed, please do so you can make sure you don't miss that video. But that's pretty much all I've got to say for the time being. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.